For today's video, I wanted to take a look at one of my favorite systems, actually my favorite system of all time, the PlayStation 2. And as you can see here, I have quite a large selection of PS2 titles to choose from, and I hand-selected some of my favorites and not-so-favorites, or most memorable PS2 games, which I just wanted to quickly shotgun right through and give you some impressions on. So let's get started. Not a lot of time, a lot of games. First up, let's see here. Actually, I should start with the first PS2 game I ever got, which was Star Wars Starfighter. Not the best PS2 game out there, but it's significant because it was my first title. Not a bad game though. Let's see here, Bloody Roar 3. Nice fighting game. I used to play this for a couple of hours with my friends. There's just something unique about being able to transfer into monsters and beasts and stuff and do some fighting. Mad Maestro. Not a lot of people actually know about this game. When you think of music games, you don't think of conducting, an orchestra or symphony, but this is actually a pretty awesome game where you're the conductor in an orchestra, and it's a music game. Try it out, track it down. It's like $5. Shadow of the Colossus. How could a PS2 library it couldn't be complete without Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, it's a greatest hit now. You can easily track it down. One of the best titles available on the system, bar none. Summoner. I was actually a really big fan of this. I believe it originated on the PC. It's actually a kind of like a free roaming. Think of it as a older Final Fantasy XII where you have party members, and the thing I loved about it was you can get a nice big party together and go out there and wreck some things. Graphics were terrible. I loved it though. One of my first PS2 games. Fantavision. Was I like the only person out there that liked this game? A weird puzzle game where you can set off fireworks and everything. Addicting. Very short though. Came out at the launch of PS2. In my opinion, one of the best games out at the time for the system. Not much to choose from. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I actually like this a lot for the co-op. If you like the Gauntlet games, this is actually not a bad one to pick up. Jak and Daxter. One of my favorite platformers ever. Big open world, no loading times, colorful graphics. What more can be said? Tons of collectibles. Platformer fans, you must buy this game. Final Fantasy X2. Yeah, that's all I want to say about that one. I couldn't play past the Charlie's Angels scene. Orphan Scion of Sorcery. I actually like this game, maybe because I got it for free. But in terms of the graphics and the gameplay, it wasn't half bad. So you can't believe everybody's opinions. This game is not that bad. Dragon Warrior 8. What an RPG. Classic RPG at its best. Graphics are amazing, gameplay's amazing, music awesome, characters. Pick it up, RPG fans. You can't complete your library without this game. Kaya Dark Lineage. Actually not a very well-known game. It's actually a very awesome platformer. Seek this one out. Definitely check this one out. I'll go into a lot of these games in detail later on, by the way. I just wanted to do this as sort of a look back real quick. Mobile Suit Gundam Journey to Jaburo, probably the first PS2 game I ever picked up that I actually regretted buying. I thought I was a huge Gundam Wing fan back then. Little did I know I was buying a Gundam game that would not appeal to me. Even though I did beat it, not a good game. God of War, I love this game when it came out. I have a standee of it in my room, of Kratos holding a Medusa head. That says my love for the game right there. Nothing else out there like it, really. Even though there's a lot of knockoffs coming out. Not Jason and the Argonauts, but a couple come to mind. Rygar the Legendary Adventure. This is actually an awesome adventure game. It's being remade for the Wii. The graphics are awesome. Check this game out if you can find it. Not a lot of people know about it and know how actually really awesome it really is. Okage Shadow King. I remember I was one of the few people actually anticipating this game before it came out. Think Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas meets RPG and a lot of lens blurring. Nice little RPG though, definitely check it out, not well known. The Adventures of Cookie and Cream. This one here, you can actually, it's an awesome co-op game if you want to play with a girlfriend or a friend or something like that. Each person holds the one end of the controller, and one of you steers one rabbit, one of you steers the other. It's a cooperative puzzle game. Pretty cool, check it out. Twisted Metal Black. I remember saying this was one of the best games ever when I first picked it up, which at the time it was. Times have changed though, but man, is this the best in the series. Awesome game, awesome atmosphere, very creepy. Gotta own it. Tribe's Aerial Assault. I bought this to try and compete with my addiction to SOCOM. Worst purchase ever. Just imagine going from a shooting game with voice chat and everything like that to a game with no voice chat, no text chat, nothing. Yeah. Overnight shipping I got for this. Worst purchase ever. The Bouncer. I actually enjoyed this a lot. Awesome brawler by Squaresoft. A lot of people hated it because they expected an RPG. I liked it. Rez, wow, did I pay like almost $100 for this, and it was worth every cent. Unfortunately, my controllers didn't have rumble, and I'm sure you all know about that controversy with the rumble pad and everything with Rez, but one of my favorite games of all time. The one on 360 Rez HD is even better. Track this down at all costs. If you have a 360, you must buy Rez HD. Eco. Those of you who know me know I could not do a PS2 video without including this game. Spoiler alert for those of you out there planning to watch my future videos, this is my favorite game of all time. I'll get into all the details in another video. I'd go on way too long if I focused on it right now. Klonoa 2. Also one of my favorite games of all time. Awesome platformer, awesome graphics, awesome music. Sequel to Klonoa on PlayStation 1, which, man, did I love that game. This one is just as good. If you ever see this game in the stores and you have a PS2, and you consider yourself a fan of games like Mario and Sonic, buy this, you will not regret it. Shadow Hearts, an awesome horror RPG. I mean, what other RPG do you know of where you can go into a cannibal town with skulls and blood all over the place? That game creeped me out. A lot of humor in this as well. The second one went on to be much too comical. Awesome game though, but this is definitely one of the darkest RPGs I ever played. Becoming quite rare now as well. Guitar Man, I paid $100 for this. I was kind of devastated when they re-released it, but whatever, more people get to play it. One of my favorite PS2 games of all time. I mean, this thing was addictive, the songs were varied. Pretty short game, but man was it awesome. I had to pay $100 to track it down on eBay. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, water effects at the time were amazing. Awesome co-op game. Check it out. Robot Alchemy Drive. I remember playing this on a demo, and you control the robot, its hands, its arms, its legs. It's looking through a remote. You're actually a character on the ground. Think of it as a remote-controlled giant robot in the city where you fight other robots. Very, very unique, very unknown. If you think that sounds interesting, like controlling one arm with the left joystick, or controlling the other arm with the other joystick, and the shoulder buttons control the legs, check this one out. Ephemeral Fantasia. This is one that it's actually the first traditional role-playing game to come out on PS2, and a lot of people hated it, but since it was the first RPG I played on PS2, I actually liked it a lot. Not a lot, I mean, I rented it and I bought it later, but not a lot of people know about this one. Very bare bones RPG with a time cycle. A little weird, whatever. Frequency on PS2, I remember spending hours creating music levels, and now you can all just do all that in Rock Band. Actually, Guitar Hero World Tour when that comes out, but this was the original music game that started it all. If you consider yourself a Guitar Hero fan, and you never played Frequency, go back and check out the original. That basically started the whole franchise. There you go. Time Splitters. I can remember making levels and playing them with my friends. I'd make these devilishly hard levels, like mazes, but damn was it addicting. And co-op through the single player, or co-op through the main story mode was awesome as well. Let's see what we got here now. Okami, wow, how could you not own Okami on the Wii or PS2? I don't know. If you consider yourself a fan of games, this game has an awesome artistic approach. It's like playing a watercolor game. Think Zelda meets watercolor painting, and you get the idea. Track this one down, definitely. Just hit greatest hits as well. Beyond Good and Evil, also one of my favorite games of all time. I am ashamed to say I've actually never finished it, but the story, the music, the graphics, you're basically trying to uncover this whole controversy with the government. Very mature story, more mature than you think it would be than checking out some of the the game cover and the screenshots. Well worth tracking down. Didn't sell very well. The sequel was just announced. I'm very, very excited for that. Let's go quickly through here. Final Fantasy XII. Awesome RPG. I love it because I love Final Fantasy XI, so there you go with that. One of the best RPGs, one of the best RPGs on the PS2. Psychonauts. Very, very unique platformer that you can get on Xbox 360 as a download, and PS2. Check it out, platformer fans, I'm telling you. I got a couple more seconds left, but Zone of the Enders. How many of you bought this for the Metal Gear Solid demo? Not me, because I actually love Zone of the Enders as a game. Well, maybe at another time I'll go through more games, but there you have it. That's just my quick look back on PS2 games. Subscribe, rate, comment if you like this video, and there you have it. Thanks for watching.